Today I'm doing a review of the Audiobahn ALUM12X, the ALUM12X car audio subwoofer. This was like when Audiobahn came out, this is probably 2002. This came in a wooden crate with I think a velvet cloth. I was going to say rag, but it was a cloth. And I think some of them even came with like little white gloves, which I thought was funny. Because, of course, no regular gloves are fitting on this big piece of ham. Anyways, it was very desirable. And we were able to get them wholesale from a local distributor called Robot Sons. That really didn't need a wholesale the TPT license. It was not real enforced. This one works great. It's a D6, and I really want to save it for home theater, but I'm sure somebody out there is going to love it more than I do. Rated at 1,000 watts RMS max, which is good for about 500 watts RMS. Real world because of the cast frame, and it's a little underrated. It's good for about 650 watts RMS. It uses a 2.5-inch D6 voice coil, which I found out that Concept was an OEM, and we had pallets and pallets of those same coils, as well as like a single 6 ohm, if I remember right. But they also used the D6 on the Nakamichi subwoofers that were built by Concept there in City of Industry in LA. And this one uses that coil. Again, a lot of times it's not that they'll use the same exact coil. It's just that because of the dimensions and the motor that you're using, a lot of times the impedance will turn out the same, just because there's a certain number of windings and you want to fit it in a certain space. This one was meant to be a little more deluxe and just sort of different. I think they were also going for the factor at the time. JL Audio was selling their dual 6 ohm. I think it was on the W3, maybe on the W6 as well. And so that way you could wire them each in series to get a 12 ohm load, and then 3 12 ohm loads in parallel is 4 ohm, and then you could pair it up with a nice 2-channel. This one, again, for me, it was like super fancy pants. I wanted to build a triangular enclosure for it and use a matching passive radiator. But again, I'm always biting off more than I can chew. But I don't like the set screw terminals. They often pinch wire, and most people use aluminum wire, and so it breaks really easy. But you want to use copper wire with this. Of course, it's all Chinesium, so it's metric screws, and those are encased in acrylic, which look very, very nice. You can see the adapter. It's just a little plastic adapter that it's basically the same version idea anyway that TC Sounds used for the Audio Pulse series, and also some of the TC Sounds metal cones. So Audiobahn just used a plastic version, which again, for this series power of woofer, it's fine. It might even be made of some sort of high temperature plastic / reinforced fiberglass like Kapton. So Kapton, you just make a mold and you force it. If I remember though, it's not metal. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember it not being metal. And I don't want to take apart the other one. Like I said in the other video, I actually want to sell the other one whole. In fact, I'll sell it for $150 shipped. And you go, oh, that's kind of steep. Well, it's very, very rare woofer, and it's very, very beautiful. And but I'll do that for anywhere in the country. And then I'll even coach you on how to replace the voice coil and spider. So without disturbing the cone. But again, it takes a lot of time, and it's not really worth just cutting and then putting new soft parts in because of how rare it is. So it really just requires a lot of time and patience. Now there's some sort of I don't think this is the original gasket. These actually look like they came from me. I picked these up in Mesa, and so I think somebody bought the gaskets off of me, and then they put some sort of grease or adhesive or something. I went to take off the other one because it was pretty ugly, and there was just this stuff, and I had Sherry work on it for about 30 minutes to get all that stuff off. This one I haven't touched, but the other one is like a used horse condom. I don't even want to touch it. It's gross. But it's got that stuff on it. We just cleaned it off. I'm going to go ahead and get new gaskets anyway because I got to do it for the same. And the ones that I have are the TC Sounds tooled up ones that are American made. It's a softer plastic. This one you see like for this Chinesium woofer from Colin. It's cheaper and it's a tougher, more plasticky type of rubber. So I don't prefer that. That's all. This one uses a cast frame though. Cast frame. Let's see what else. Other than that, it's just a good performing 500 watt subwoofer, 600 watt. It does have a little bit more cooling, also from the aluminum cone. I actually do not like to do that because if you're really worried about cooling on your subwoofer, you're using it wrong. Tilo Stompler taught me a lot about that. If you look on a lot of his woofer designs, the tinsel leads are actually really, really small, comparative to to something like this. So that didn't exist for Tilo, and I asked him why, and he says, it's to keep people from abusing it. It's to thin the herd. People that are going to abuse their subs will toast those almost immediately. He says, and you don't want anything to do with them. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to beef these up, and he was right. The problem with beefing them up like that is that you end up rubbing elbows with people that just abuse equipment, and they never take responsibility. They never think it was their fault. But anytime you burn a woofer, it is your fault. You should not have been doing whatever it is you were doing. It doesn't matter what the gain was set at. You still control the volume, and it was getting too much power. Okay, so that's how you kill a subwoofer. But let's look on this one. Yeah, this one uses the little leads, like the TC Sounds. So these are sewn or woven into the spider, which I don't like because I feel like it compromises the spider. If the tinsel's small enough, it shouldn't really affect it, but because you can use a large weave, a large stitch, fabric, because all that is fabric. It's doped up fabric with phenolic resin, but I don't like it because it compromises it, and then if you're really pushing it, it'll create a weakness or a rip. So, but again, for this woofer, it doesn't matter because you're not pushing it that hard. It's not some uber, floppy butthole that you guys normally see on this channel. It's not made for that. So I think this one I'm going to do for $250 shipped, and then I'll get you a new gasket. And if you want me to sign it, I'll sign it. If you want me to put a used condom in the butthole, I will. Not really. Just because the cops are watching these videos too, and they're like, ooh. Anyways, I love you guys. That's my review on the Audiobahn ALUM12X.